my first ring was 10 grand, so it wasn't a super expensive ring. And the ring I have now is 20 grand, but I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm like, all right, I'm ready to upgrade.
Femininity coaches are influencers, mentors, or life coaches who teach women how to embrace traditional feminine qualities like softness, elegance, and nurturing energy. They often claim to help women attract high-value men, typically older, wealthy ones. The movement taps into a lot of women's desires for stability, success, and empowerment through relationships. But what happens when things go dark? By now, you may have heard the tragic story of the new trophy wife. The YouTuber, The New Trophy Wife, also known as Isis Morales, gained attention for her content promoting hypergamy, relationship advice, and leveling up for women seeking financially stable or affluent partners. She has over 25,000 subscribers and a podcast discussing intentional dating and personal growth. Unfortunately, she recently became the subject of controversy after posting a video titled, "I Married a Monster," where she accused her husband of abuse and misconduct of her young children. The revelations have sparked debates about hypergamy and the realities behind curated online personas. The story of how her marriage came to be is in itself interesting. A single mother of two at the time, Isis was looking for a partner. Now, everything I say here is a collection of what I have heard online, so please do not consider it the gospel truth. Upon meeting her husband, it is said that Isis had made advances to move into his home less than a week after meeting. He responded that he would only ever live with his wife, and internet law states she then bought a ring and proposed. All of this within a week. The marriage then brought 2 little girls into the world, as well as the persona of the new trophy wife.
Unfortunately, it's been a little over a month since I had to end up leaving my husband.
The disturbing details she goes over in the video are heartbreaking and have spawned many reactions spanning from sadness for the children to blaming the femininity culture for what happened. While it's easy to recognize the mistakes made, such as rushing into a relationship, I refuse to place the blame on her for the reprehensible actions of her husband. He seems to be largely absent from accountability here, and that's not where this conversation should focus.
Look, the whole situation with the new trophy wife, she is just as guilty as the husband is. As a woman and as a mother, you are supposed to make decisions that are best for your children. Not for you, but for your children.
Instead, I want to discuss the broader issue, the impact of femininity content on women and dating, and how such narratives shape relationships in ways we may not fully understand.
It's like I built this channel and this whole brand around being this man's wife and trying to teach other women how to attract good men and provider men and all these different things. And I truly held my husband, or saw him, as the bar for what every woman should, type of man that, or type of husband that every woman should aspire to have. And I didn't realize that the person I married was actually going to be my biggest nightmare.
The term trophy wife isn't new. It's been around for decades to describe younger, attractive women who are married to powerful, wealthy men. She's often seen as a status symbol, like a luxury watch or a sports car, meant to signal the man's success. Femininity coaching often encourages women to embody traits associated with this archetype. flawless appearance, charm, and a willingness to play a secondary role in exchange for financial security. But what does this mean for women on a deeper level? What happens when you're no longer the younger, hotter version of yourself? How secure is the security you have spent many years building? Dating older men who have money is often the pathway to the trophy wife lifestyle. These relationships often promise a life of luxury, designer clothes, exotic vacations, and financial stability. But at what cost? They can give you access to the soft life and allow you to live a life that many people can merely dream of. Studies have shown that relationships with significant age gaps often come with power imbalances. A 2020 study published in Psychology Today found that women in such relationships frequently report feeling objectified, as though their primary goal is to look good and enhance their partner's social status. This long-standing trope has morphed into a more modern-day version of itself. Hypergamy content, as well as the sprinkle movement, acknowledge the existence of this dynamic, but aim to teach women to use this knowledge to get what they want. To move away from being the victims and become the people who use this dynamic as a weapon. These movements are huge. And I would be remiss if I didn't talk about Shira 7. Letitia Padua, also known as Shira 7, is a popular YouTube and TikTok personality, known for her unique take on dating, relationships, and empowerment. She began her online career in 2011, growing a substantial following with her controversial and often bold advice, particularly aimed at women. She gained widespread recognition for promoting hypergamy, which is marrying for financial security, and giving women advice on attracting wealthy men who often used her catchphrase, sprinkle, sprinkle, to punctuate her points. This phrase has become a hallmark of her brand, and her content continues to resonate with many followers, especially on TikTok, where clips of her advice have gone viral.
The best way to get a man to fall in love is to become emotionally detached, get him alone, get him to spend a lot of time with you, and make them fall for you, okay? But you never fall for them. Never. You pretend like you are, but you never fall for them. Because if you do, then they can kind of rule and manipulate over you because you're emotionally weak.
Shira's content often blends humor with what some consider a Machiavellian approach to relationships. She encourages women to level up in dating and lifestyle, teaching strategies that some find empowering, while others criticize as reducing women to materialistic or manipulative roles. Her TikTok presence is especially influential, with her videos generating billions of views under hashtags like sprinkle sprinkle, illustrating her massive reach. Despite the mixed reactions to her philosophy, Shira has solidified herself as a key figure in the dark feminine influencer space, often comparing herself to male counterparts like Andrew Tate due to her unapologetic views of gender and dating. Hypergamy coaches such as Shira 7, as well as the new trophy wife, focus on teaching women to play the game. They make sure women know that relationships are transactional, and so women should ensure that they are also winning or getting something out of the transaction. This mainly being money and security. They flaunt the lives they have because of the success of their strategy, and women everywhere flock to sit at their feet and learn from the pros. If you're like me, you're probably wondering what exactly Shira 7 has to say about the new trophy wife situation. Lucky for us, we got a response.
I always say this on my channel. Don't tell people you got kids. That's the stupidest thing you can do, because they start to treat you a certain way. And like I said, there's weirdos out there. Single moms need to stay quiet when they're dating. And they need to date for a long time until the man has fallen in love with them, gave them money, invested in them heavily. You're going to bring somebody around your kids. You got to get the background checks. You got to get all that stuff. And plus, if you have young kids, you really shouldn't be out there anyway trying to bring people around them. Sprinkle, sprinkle.
But there are downsides. First, there's the emotional toll of being viewed as a status symbol rather than a full partner. A 2019 study in the Journal of Family Psychology found that 68% of women in financially dependent relationships felt undervalued and isolated, often because they lacked decision-making power. Second, this dynamic can leave women vulnerable. A 2021 Pew Research Center report found that 43% of women in financially imbalanced relationships felt pressured to conform to their partner's expectations, whether it was about appearance, behavior, or life choices. Let's not ignore the long-term risks. If the relationship ends, many women find it difficult to regain their independence, financially and emotionally, because they've invested so much in a lifestyle tied to someone else's wealth. Being financially reliant on your partner in a world where money is a tool and a weapon is dangerous. Many women may find themselves unable to return to the workforce due to gaps in their resumes while partners with these men. The inability to leave due to a lack of resources is a major part of domestic violence and gender-based violence.
Sprinkle, sprinkle.
Here's the thing. Being admired for your beauty or charm isn't inherently bad, but there's a big difference between being a trophy wife and an empowered partner. In a healthy relationship, both individuals contribute equally, whether it's through emotional support, financial partnership, or shared goals. And if you find that one partner must stay at home for one reason or another, that's fine. The dynamics of partnership change and expand with time and shifting responsibilities. The trophy wife lifestyle often asks women to trade their independence for luxury. But what happens when the relationship ends or the partner's wealth disappears? It's a shaky foundation to build your future on. In the long run, women in these roles report feeling unfulfilled. A 2022 study from the University of Michigan revealed that women who prioritized appearance and financial dependency in relationships are more likely to face anxiety, depression, and regret later in life. This isn't just about finances, it's about personal growth. If your entire identity is tied to being someone else's trophy, you risk losing yourself in the process.
Sprinkle, sprinkle.
So how can we shift the narratives here? Instead of striving to be a trophy wife, what can women do to live the lives they desire? True femininity isn't about conforming to someone else's idea of value. It's about embracing your strengths and creating a life that fulfills you on your terms. And what is considered feminine more often than not leaves out many women due to race, weight, gender nonconformity, and so much more. It's essential that we critique these movements for what they are and who they uplift. What ideals and standards they might play into that reinforce the status quo and marginalization of various demographics of people.
The reinforcing of stereotypes as well as the status quo is a pipeline from femininity to dread wife content. These two things work hand in hand and exist side by side in parallel to each other. As I continue to delve into these subjects, hoping to delve further into more femininity content, trad wife content, as well as how these two things can be a pipeline to the outright.
Sprinkle, sprinkle.
At the end of the day, it's not about rejecting femininity or avoiding older men entirely. It's about making informed choices. Relationships should enhance your life, not define it. Let's celebrate women as more than just trophies or symbols of status. We are full, dynamic individuals who deserve love, respect, and equality in all areas of life. I could have made a video bashing the new trophy wife and her decisions. I could have equally made a video talking about the terrible crimes committed by men against women and children. But I chose instead to integrate the movements that propped the new trophy wife up. The systems and circumstances that may allow predators like her husband to buy their way into access to their victims. There are many things at play here, but what I want to be at the forefront is well wishes for the children who have suffered immensely, and that should not be forgotten as we continue to make think pieces around the situation. Thank you guys so much for joining me. This video was a little bit hard for me to make because there was just so much noise and what felt a little bit like disregard. And I know that this video did not focus on the victims of this alleged crime, but that was made as a choice because they are children, and I think they deserve privacy and respect. So let me know what you guys think about femininity coaches, hypergamy, and the idea of the sprinkle sprinkle movement. I'll be down in the comment sections to see what you guys say. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.